Hello everyone and welcome back to my channel. It's probably about 8 o'clock in the morning right now, and I'm going to be starting crock pot Portuguese stew. I think it's a little over a pound of stew beef, and I just chopped it up. You want it kind of in bigger chunks because this is going to be cooking for a while, and you don't want the meat to break up and disintegrate. So we're just going to throw that right into the pot. And then I'm also going to add a pound of baby carrots. Just throw those right in there. And then I have a medium-sized onion in slivers, just like this. I hope the lighting's not too bad. Let's fix that there. And then I have, my potatoes are kind of small, so I have 6 of them cubed up. Dump it right into the pot. And then I'm going to take some chouriço, the Portuguese sausage. This is what it looks like. I usually get it in like the Michaels or the Gaspar's brand, but they only had hot in the Gaspar's, so I got this one. I think it comes from Central Falls in Rhode Island, but you could find this in your market. So what we're going to do is cut it in half, cut it down the long way, and then we want like half moon shapes. See, just like that. Just throw that right into the pot with everything else. And then I'm also going to use linguiça, which you can also find right with the chouriço in your grocery store, or if you go to like a Portuguese specialty market. Now, this is my way. I'm sure there's many other different ways. Like, I think you add kale to it too, but I don't like to add kale to this one because it's like a red sauce. I use kale when I make my actual kale soup. If you want to see a video on that, leave a comment down below. Now, for this, we're going to do the same thing. Cut it down the long way in moon shapes. Just for video purposes, I wanted to show you how to do it. I'm actually gonna cut all the rest of this up off camera, and I'm also gonna chop up the rest of this because I have an 8-quart crock pot because I have a big family to feed. So after I get all this chopped up, I'll be right back. Okay, so we have everything chopped up. Now I'm gonna put in 32 ounces of beef broth. And you can always cut this recipe in half. You don't have to make it as big if you don't have a large family. Okay. If you don't have beef broth, you can just use water and chicken bouillon if you have it. Or just use plain water. And if you don't want to use a crock pot, or if you don't have one, you could definitely do this on the stovetop. But what I would do is boil the stew beef first because that's going to take the longest, and then add your other meats, cook that for another hour, and then throw in the veggies and let it all come together. So I have a lot. I'm going to add enough water just to cover. I'm going to come in here and give it a mix. And now I'm going to take some adobo. I'm just going to cover the top. Like I always say, I don't really measure, but you can see what I'm doing. Some onion salt, same thing. Right on top of the water. Garlic salt. Garlic powder. Onion powder. Salt. You could add seasonings to your likings. This is how I do it. And pepper. Oh, now she's singing. Now we're going to give this a mix. Now that's it. We're going to pop the top on it and let this go for on high. Put your crock pot on high. I would say about 8 hours, maybe 8 to 10 if you're doing like a huge pot. But I would probably say maybe about 6 on high. I've never done it low because I feel like it would just take too long. And then I'm going to come back in when there's like an hour left for this to finish. And I'm going to put in a can of tomato puree. So when this is all boiled up, I'll come back and show you the rest. Okay, so we're at the last hour of the stew being done. Now this is when I'm going to add a 28-ounce can of tomato puree. Mix it up. Everything's pretty much cooked at this point. Now we just want the tomato flavor to get into this stew. Okay, and then I'll be back when it's all ready to go. Okay, so a half hour has just passed, and I'm gonna add like a heaping tablespoon of tomato paste, and then just a regular sized tablespoon, just to thicken things up a bit. Give that a whisk. You want it all melted in there. And then we're going to pop the top on for the next half hour, the last half hour. And then I'll be back when I plate it up. So this is the finished stew. It still has to thicken up a little bit more. But the next day, it's so much better, even better than today, because it thickens up as it sits overnight. And then I'm serving it with homemade Portuguese rolls that I made. If you'd like to see a video on that, let me know. Okay, I hope everyone has a good night. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe if you're not already. And don't forget to hit the notification bell so you know every time that I upload a new video. And please share these videos with your family and friends. And I'll see you in the next one.